Hey, you. Yes, you. Are you okay? Are you coping? Do you feel alone? High school can be tough. Life can be tough, but we know we are tougher. So even if you don't feel okay, even if you're not coping, even if you feel alone, hang in there. You're not alone. We'll get through this together. Meet the teen panelists and learn how our peers are handling the pandemic. First is Josh, a senior at Clover High School. Next is Shalia, a junior at Fort Mill High School. Maddie, a senior at York Comprehensive High School. Norris, a junior at Northwestern High School. Hannah, a junior at Nations Ford High School. And last but not least, Carson, a sophomore at York Comprehensive High School. How have you coped during the pandemic?
Even before the pandemic, I was involved in sports and clubs and things. So now during the pandemic, those sports and like being in my community and things have helped me keep up, that constant in my life that was already constant before the pandemic. So, even if you're not an athlete, just different types of things like that, like a club or, community service, student government, things like that, that you can still do and have social interaction and still feel normal while you're doing those things. Having that constant in my life, still be able to carry on, even though it's a little bit different and, like we have to wear masks and things like that. It's still been so helpful for me and for, like my mental health to still be able to have that outlet, because to be honest, that 2 or 2.5 hours every day after school that I get to go to practice is typically one of the best parts of my day. I get to go and I don't have to think about anything except the sport that I'm playing. And I can just, put on my knee pads and volleyball shoes or my basketball uniform and I can just be an athlete for 2 hours and I don't have to be a student or whatever. So that's just been really helpful for me. And just having teammates that I'm close with, especially being a senior, I've really tried to focus on the positive things like that this year, because it has been kind of frustrating because this year has looked so different, but really forcing myself to focus on the positives and not dwell on the negative things has helped me, especially being on a team, because there are so many positives in sports this year. So being an athlete, like playing sports isn't just, I don't just do it because I'm an athlete. I do it because I love being around those people. I love being around my coaches and teammates. And if I couldn't have continued that part of my life, especially my last year of high school, it would have been so difficult because it's such a great outlet for me. So
stick to more of a schedule and not just kind of do whatever here, do whatever there. If you're able to continue like having structure in your life, it's very helpful.
I went through like a breakup, and it was like a get back together situation. So I was going through a lot with this one person. So what I went through it wasn't great. So I would try to get myself out and try to have fun, but it was also hard because everything was closed, like just closed. There were no openings, nothing. So it was hard because when I'm home, I tend to get in my feelings. So I tried to leave the house. So yeah, we always walked to the park when we felt sad because she kind of went through some personal problems. So we just go together and try to make each other happy by having each other.
Reaching out to friends is one. Just, texting, calling every once in a while. Just, hey, how you doing? Just because they're going through it with you. They're also high schoolers, also, doing virtual. And one of the things, I was virtual first semester. I went to virtual school first semester, and it was really hard to stay in touch with those friends because they were going to school. And then, so now I'm in school, and just that social interaction with friends, I think is really important. So I think if you have, one solid friend or a good friend group, I think it's really beneficial.
I've taken some time to myself and focusing on just my mentally able to do things slowly. Like I'm in school every other day. So on my off days, I'm able to maybe get extra sleep if I need it, or go outside and take a walk and kind of get away from my phone a little bit and focus on myself and not kind of what's going on the outside world, and just staying healthy and trying to think positive of, okay, this is going to be over in a little bit, or even if I'm not thinking about the pandemic in general, just trying to stay positive with myself mentally, and then focusing on what my intention is for that day.
Talking with my family about it most. I think just, them going through it with me. Because my brother also does virtual, so we'll just bounce off of each other and, just, I don't know, just help each other through it. When we see when I see my brother, not, I'm trying to find the right word, but not as engaged as he would be in real school, you just have to be that support for that person. Because Zooms there's a lot of distractions at home. So just going through with it, just someone being there for you can really help.
It's harder when you're at home all day and then you come to practice. So you kind of have to like shift your focus and kind of, like sharpen your mind a little bit. So I think, our coach and like all of us on our team have encouraged like those people, make a schedule and stick to it, and come to practice with your mind ready, because that can't be different than it was last year. You still have to come every day with your mind ready. So
I just kind of, at the beginning of the pandemic, we were supposed to start football coming up, spring practice, and we kind of just got laid off. So I was lazy at first, and then when we come back, I just started working harder to try to lose the weight I put on during the pandemic. My coaches kind of helped me through the process.
How do you overcome peer pressure?
So, I mean, my big thing is surrounding myself with people who would do the same as me. Not people who are going to tempt me to do things or trying to get me to do things like this or that. They would be the same type of person as me, is to say no to those things.
When it comes to peer pressure, you should just walk away and not, do what the person says. Go with your gut feeling. Talk to someone about it. I'm pretty sure they would tell you to do the opposite of what that person wants you to do, because it will definitely affect the way you are today.
So with being around a lot of different people from different like schools, I'd say some events are different, like different things. I would say, hey, like I don't feel comfortable doing that. And I think about like my future. So, and think about obviously the consequences of anything that I could take place in, like, or going to a party and, people are doing like, outside smoking weed or drinking or whatever. I just have to think about my future and say, is this one time party and someone recording all of us, for example, all of us taking a shot. Hey, is that really worth it? Or is this a couple of days from now, is this going to come back and haunt me for like I said, my future and my goals that I'm trying to achieve as a junior in high school, and then and an adult, which can ruin a lot of different things and sports, since I'm an athlete, that can ruin any opportunity for scholarships and getting into any college.
I would just surround myself with like good friends, and if I don't feel comfortable, my friends know, because my dad's police, so my friends know if I don't feel comfortable, I'm just gonna say no, and they don't try to push me. So I just have good friends.
if you surround yourself with people who do things that you don't think is right, even if you don't believe those things are right, especially as a teenager, it's so easy for people to leave an impression on you. And so I think that when you allow those people to leave that impression on you, whether you like it or not, you're a product of your surroundings. Mm-hmm. So it becomes easier for what you believe in to be changed if you surround yourself with people who, don't support the same things as you do, or who could potentially have a negative impact on you. So really just surrounding yourself with people who positively influence you and impact you in a positive way.
What refusal skills do you use when dealing with peer pressure?
You can just continuously, saying no to them is one thing rather than them actually listening to you. But you can explain to them that's not really who you are or what you're trying to do. So hopefully you surround yourself with the right people they would understand that that's not what you want to do, and they just wouldn't continue pushing you.
I go to work and I wouldn't say everybody in there is like innocent, because they will offer you want to smoke and it's like, no, because I get scared because that's not what I do. So it's like, no, but they don't really peer pressure me. But when it comes to that kind of situation, I would say think about your actions. Like, think about what you should do first before you just go for it. Because if you're scared, but you think you want to do it, you need to like rethink about that before you do it. Think about how it's going to affect your future, what it's going to be towards like other people's opinions about you. Not everybody's opinion matters, but like good opinions, if that makes sense. Like, you shouldn't do it because you're such a great person. Like, I feel like everyone is great. It's just what they do is what kind of just reflects.
You know that it's not cool or popular to say no, but it doesn't bother you as much. The times when I've had to say, no, I don't want to do this, I don't want to participate in that, um, you know, that's, they think I'm lame or whatever, or I'm just, boring. But I know that that's just not something that I feel like I want to participate in, and I'm okay with that. So it doesn't really matter, if they think I'm lame, I'll take that. They can call me lame. It doesn't matter to me.
I think just having a great support system. Once again, it falls on my family. My mom and dad have done a great job at raising me and telling me the right way. And just going to them about things, we can talk about anything, nothing's off the table. And so just talking about that with peer pressure. And then it's not the end of the world if your friends really don't, like you for a certain portion of time because you didn't do something that you didn't want to do. It's okay. You'll get through it. Y'all are friends at the end of the day. If y'all are really great friends, and y'all are going to work past that. So
even just looking at them and just saying, hey, is this really like worth your time? Like, is this really worth your time, or is this worth your life? Like, especially like you said, Allison said, like in the bathroom, a lot of people, I mean, I'm like drooling and stuff. Like, is it really like worth that whatever, the 30-second buzz that they feel? I'd probably just be honest with them and just say, it's not cool. Just leave me out of it. You guys can have fun with it, but just leave me out of it. And I don't want to do anything with.
I feel bad sometimes because I use my mom to get out of things. Like she's got something planned for me, especially if I don't feel comfortable. I just use her, or I use my friends.
choose a different route. I know because there are specific places where people do stuff. So a place that's more surrounded, a place that's has more people, more adults. Especially when in the bathrooms, if people are vaping in the bathrooms, I mean, there are plenty of bathrooms at school. So I just think choosing a different route and going where there are more people can really help.
What is your favorite wellness/health tips? What is your favorite wellness/health tips? What is your favorite wellness/health tips? What is your favorite?
I mean, it's just, you can't just sit around and do nothing the whole time, and it will not go well for you. But I mean, if you're up doing stuff, it also gets your mind continuously active and working and growing.
If I'm going to keep sitting here watching Netflix and eat, it's just going to add on and I'm just going to get bigger. So every day I wake up around 9 and I would exercise inside, and then I would go outside and take a walk.
Even the days when, because I go to school twice a week, but even on the days when I'm not at school, treating it like a school day, get up at the same time, eat lunch at the same time, do my work, get on Zoom. And then also, because school is such a huge part of your social interaction, make time also for social interactions throughout the day. And find a friend that you can go do something with, after, school time, because that's what you would do on a school day. And so really just treating it like a school day, make time not just for your work, but also for some type of social interaction. And even if that's just with your family, but just making sure that you are going and doing something with a friend, or even if you're just taking a walk outside, just really do make that schedule, because theoretically it is still a school day. You do still have to be on a schedule and treat it like that. So why not add in the social part of school as well, so that you still get that part of school and that experience that is so important in school.
Probably to lay off the soft drinks, because my grandma, she's like really big health person. She runs every day up and down our road, and she just kind of told me, if you lay off the soft drinks, it's going to help you later on. Like, you'll be healthier, you'll have bigger stamina. It just helps you in the long run. And that's what I went by.
Staying on a schedule and maintaining like a healthy, like, hey, wake up at 8:30 and do my homework and work out and continue to socialize with my friends, and not just staying to myself. Like, I know that, you want that alone time every once in a while, but you also want to stay in contact with your friends and go out with them and make some new friends, and kind of focusing on the working out, maintaining a schedule, and then maintaining a social life, and being kind of involved with your school with sports, and just involved with extracurricular activities, and being around nice, positive people, not anything that would create toxic friendships, relationships, or anything like that. This sounds silly, but writing like stuff down to do, even if it's going outside, taking a walk, walking your dog, or going outside and just sitting out there getting some fresh air, or even asking anyone if they're anywhere if they want to volunteer or help out in the area, just so you can kind of make new friends and have a new environment, a new area to be around, not just like the same, I'm sitting in my room, I'm sitting in my house, and I'm with my parents. So you can socialize with other people.
Going out and attempting, new things, attempting to meet new people safely, obviously. But you can't just, what's the word? You can't just like shelter yourself in somewhere and never do anything, and it will just make it worse. But trying new things, doing new activities is definitely a way to get yourself out there.
Yeah. How can virtual students get involved and connected?
100% advise them to just try something, just like challenge themselves. And that is definitely easier said than done, but just challenge yourself, even if you aren't really that into athletics. I think, if you're into arts, take a theater class or, chorus or something like that, and just like kind of dip your toes into whatever your school has to offer, and figure out what you like, what you don't like, what people you want to be surrounded with. And then, you don't have to stay in those clubs forever. You can, figure out which ones you like and which ones you don't. And then also, even if it's outside of your school, finding something at your church or in your community, getting a job or something like that really does just like plug you in and help you get a different perspective of all the parts of your school and the surrounding community. Just really challenging yourself and putting yourself out there is really important in high school.
Just, talking to their virtual teacher, just because their teacher is going to be at school too. So I think just talking with their teacher and seeing what other activities and clubs there are to get involved with virtually. I actually take stats for the basketball team, the varsity basketball team, and I did that while I was in virtual school for first semester. So that was really beneficial, just getting to know the coaches and the staff better with the basketball team. So things like that, Beta Club, National Honor Society. So I've gotten to be in a few things, even with COVID.
Another thing would be like maybe anyone who is struggling who can get a therapist. I know like sometimes it could be expensive or it's not they're not available, but even just talking to someone like online, like a therapist or something, can always help anyone that is going through a hard time, especially right now during this unexpected pandemic.
The kids who are completely virtual, I know that at my school they had the opportunity to come in and talk to teachers who teach that subject, or just advisors to help them there. Just kind of getting into the school and seeing other people, it's definitely something that could be beneficial.
To my teachers, and just tell them, like, if I don't understand something, I just go directly to them, because I ain't always been the best in school, because some things don't come easy, but the others do. And so if I need help, I just go to them or ask my mom to help. And I just really think they should know when you're struggling and what you're struggling with, no matter if it's personal or schoolwork. I could ask everybody else, like, what's helping them, or they could come to me about what they're struggling with, or we could go to each other, and we kind of just helped each other on the football team, really.
There's always a teacher that students are close with, or a coach, or or if they're in chorus, the chorus teacher, or band director, whoever it is. There is usually, every student at York typically has a staff member or faculty member that they are connected with and that they feel like they can go talk to. So I think really making not just connections with your peers, but with adults in the building or in your community, because they honestly can give some of the best advice sometimes, because they have been through that and they also are seeing the situation from the outside. So really making those connections with adults in your school as well really helps, I think.
Support system structured schedule connect.
Try not to look at the bad things in life. If that's, and I know that's hard. It's easier, like I said, it's easier said than done, but it's really beneficial if you were to think positively about everything.
Just keep moving forward.